Welcome back. We're still with the Minister of State for Agriculture, Senator Heineken Lokpobiri. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you.
We're still on the issue of rice and smuggling. Let's also talk about now the deadline, so to speak, of to stop rice importation into the country. What's the latest on that?
Well, you know, there's actually no deadline to stop rice importation because rice importation is not banned. What we have said as a ministry, the target we set for ourselves was that by the year 2018, Nigeria would have no reason to import rice. And we are, you know, we've gotten there substantially because there was a recent survey that as of 2016, Nigeria produced 17 million metric tons of paddy. And maybe about 6-7 million of it was wasted, you know, from the point of harvest, you know, to the point where they could be processed.
Which is another major challenge.
Another major challenge, and that's why I want to deploy these rice mills. These rice mills will be located, you know, around the cluster of rice farmers, so that they will be able to process instead of, you know, laboring themselves to, you know, transport these things to the nearest mill. And so what we said at the target was that we're going to be self-sufficient in terms of local production by the year 2018. And I believe that the target will be achieved by the year 2018. But rice importation is not banned. We're part of the global community. What we're trying to say is that there will be no basis for anybody to import rice. But if you say you want to import through the seaport so that we can check the quality of the rice you're bringing into the country, and you can also pay the tariff and the levies, and these things allowed under, you know, the World Trade, you know, agreements that, you know, we have signed. I mean, World Trade, you know, whatever, we can't outrightly ban it. But what we're saying is that we're not banning it, but within the framework of the law, we're allowed to set, you know, tariffs, you know, which we want to use to regulate. And as of today, if they bring if anybody importing rice brings the rice through the seaport, the costs of landing will be a lot more than local production. And so local farmers will flourish. But what is challenging is that these guys are smuggling it through in small quantities through the land borders. And so the landing costs or the smuggled rice is cheaper in the market than the Nigerian rice, which is fresh, nutritious. But it's also a good opportunity to tell Nigerians that the rice that is imported has no nutritional value at all. And that was why recently we told the World Food Program that it is better for you to buy your rice locally. The argument was that the local rice is more expensive. We said, yes, more expensive, but it is more nutritious. For you to bring something from, you know, Asia with zero nutritional value, it's better you buy a smaller quantity of the same rice here, you know, and give to the IDPs so that, you know, the purpose of, you know, providing the food, which is to check malnutrition, you know, can be achieved. Federal government also decided that come and buy, we'll pay the difference. And so there was a small subsidy that was also done by federal government, and that was what the acting president went to flag off in Maiduguri. The last time you come here, you can agree with me that he went a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, to go and flag off the distribution of, you know, food items, you know, to the Northeast. It is as a result of this collaboration with the federal government and then, you know, the World Food Program that is here to provide some, you know, some food items, you know, for the people in the Northeast.
Well, very quickly right now, last year the government promised to set up this 10 billion naira agriculture fund to unlock food potentials, you know, and enhance food security. Just tell us briefly, you know, what's happening to that.
Under the roofing program, you know, we have this rural agriculture finance, you know, money where we had some millions of dollars, you know, to be able to help the subsistence farmers in the rural areas. Government is doing it. We still have some money, you know, there, and the Department of, you know, Agri-Business is directly in charge of it. They are using microfinance banks to be able to, you know, get this money across to, you know, to the poorest of the poor farmers. We believe that, you know, when the Bank of Agriculture is fully, you know, recapitalized, they will also join the microfinance banks to see how we can, you know, get finance available and affordable to the rural farmers. Like I said earlier, all the food you eat in this country, substantially, is produced by the subsistence farmers. And the biggest challenge the farmers have is access to finance. The interest rates are prohibitive. They are not even interested, you know, to lend to agriculture. So the government came up with different ideas, including this roofing, which is basically to finance, you know, rural agriculture.
All right, very well. Thank you, Minister of State for Agriculture. Thank you for your time on Declan Abuja.
Thank you.